Hey guys, so it was Sunday yesterday. I was at the car boot sale at the flea market, and I've been down there the last few weeks, and I think for like 3 weeks there's just been nothing there to buy. So I went down anyway. It was a nice morning yesterday, sunny, warm. It even started getting warm at like 9 in the morning, and I managed to find 3 computers. So I started to record a video. Basically, one of the computers I wanted, and the same guy had another one that I didn't want, and he kind of insisted that to get the price I wanted on the one that I did want, I had to buy the one that I didn't want. But in the end, I only wanted €10 for it. So this morning, I actually started to make a video of that one, and it's all gone horribly wrong. Yeah. So I'll just give you 30 seconds of what happened on that with the sound, and then I'll tell you about that machine, because I am going to make a video with it. Okay, so this is what happened to me this morning. Well, first thing I noticed is this actual hard drive with this tab. It's a hard drive, it's an IDE optical drive. I'm pretty certain it's going to be 775. It's kind of like the generation of processors and the changeover. Quite nice light front DVD ROM, probably past €10. So you can see there was something badly wrong with the sound on that recording. That's the first time the computer's done that, recording computer. I don't know what was causing it. In the end, I switched it off and switched it back on again, and now it seems to work. Yeah, I hope it doesn't have that problem again. So anyway, that machine was like a little bare bones Asus unit, Asus socket LGA 775. It only has a Celeron D processor. But it's got quite an interesting fault. I did get it working, but basically the power supply that's built into it is like an unusual size. I'll just show it to you actually, one moment. It's this machine. It had a nice beige DVD drive in it, DVD writer. It's worth more than the €10 I paid for it. I've stripped a lot of it down now, but basically the power supply, which is like an unusual size one, has 5 volt standby on the purple wire, but the green wire has like 0 volts on. And if there's 0 volts on that, it should run, but it doesn't start. And if I connect like a normal ATX power supply to it, it powers up and works now. And I had it running in XP with the original hard drive, and it's running. Yeah. So this little power supply is like only fits in this machine. It's not a normal ATX; it's smaller. Yeah. So I'm going to fix that. In fact, I'll just show you. So yeah. So here's this is a normal size ATX supply, so you can see the scale of it now. Yeah. So it is smaller. So I think it's worth repairing these sort of supplies, and not necessarily for this machine, but it can be useful, you know, when you find something that takes an odd size power supply. Okay, so we'll have a look at that. So 5 volt standby is good. The green wire is 0, and it doesn't work. It doesn't power up. But when I put another power supply on, the green wire is like, you know, 3.3 volts like it should be, and it does work. Yeah. Okay, so that's that one. But anyway, I'll show you the other 2 machines I got. So this one cost me €10, and I'll get the money back out of it in an interesting repair, I think. And I'll just show you the next one, which is the one that I really wanted, but to get the price I wanted, I had to buy this. Okay, I'll show you guys. So this is what was on the desk at the start of the video, the second start of the video. Yeah. Let me just move the camera. Okay, so you can see it. So it has like a kind of like a gaming case. Yeah. And it's pretty much a complete machine, to be quite honest. I'll just get this camera back online and I'll show you. Everything's going on today, eh? So it comes as a complete machine. Just a little tricky little latch to open it, but I have it open. There you go. Open. So you've got a big case and not a lot inside it in a way. This is a H81M -E Asus motherboard. So this is a 4th generation of some description. It has a GPU in there, which I happen to know it's a Radeon HD 7000 series. We'll have a look at in a minute. And this has a hard drive in it, which I have no idea what size it is, and I have no idea what the CPU is. But the guy wanted €50 for the whole machine, and I'm pretty sure I'll get, I don't know, 20 or something for the graphics card if it's working. So there's probably a bit of profit in this. This will all depend on what CPU is in there. Yeah. Now the guy absolutely insists that this is working. It works good. But there again, this is a guy whose definition of working often means that the lights come on when you plug it in. So we'll check for shorts, I think. Let's have a look on the 12 volts, see if there's any shorts. If there's no shorts on it, we'll power it up. It's got, I think it's maybe a 4 and 8 gig DDR3 in here as well. We were saying, yeah, it's got an 8 gig of DDR3 in as well. So hopefully at €50 there might be a bit of profit in it, or might get an interesting video out of it and get the money back. Alright, so let's check for shorts on the power rail first. So I'll get the meter, and let's just have a look to see if there's any shorts on the 12 volts. I mean, assuming he says this is working, then you'd expect that there wouldn't be, and there isn't a short on that, so that looks okay. So yeah, let's see then if this machine actually is, as he claims, working. Okay, power on it. Well, it didn't go bang. I think that's maybe a good start. Does it power up? No. So that's the working machine. So power's on. 550 watt power supply. And nothing happens, so it doesn't work. Let's see if we've actually got any power coming into it. This is pretty much what that slimline one was doing. I was making a video this morning that all went wrong. Had basically the same sort of thing. So ground, purple wire. Well, there's no 5 volt standby on this, yeah, so it's not going to start up. The bleed's plugged in. Everything's plugged in. It should be good to go. Okay, so this looks like it could just be, well, to start off, it looks like it might be a dead power supply. Okay, let's get it all apart and let's have a look to see what's going on with this. And I'll check the sound. Okay, so it's got a 1 terabyte hard drive in, which is always handy, to be quite honest, for storing videos and such like. I think anything like 1 terabyte and bigger, I tend to keep hold of them. I find them useful. So we have that. Graphics card is very dusty. It's Gigabyte WindForce. It's quite a small one. It has 1/6 weight. I'm pretty sure this is like a Radeon. Yeah, GVN75TOC. Yeah, you probably see the number down there. Yeah, there you go. So GVN75TOC. 2 gig. It's some sort of Radeon. I think it's 7500. Let me have a quick look and I'll tell you what it actually is. No, I'm completely wrong for those of you shouting at the screen. So it's a GTX 750 Ti, 2 gig, DDR5. That's alright actually, that is for the price I paid for the machine, if it works. I mean, bear in mind all this is working, he said, it's all working. So we'll get a bit of the dust off this and let's have a look at this motherboard. Okay, well, I mean, I've emptied it into the bin and it's still got all this in it, a lot of fluff in this thing. I needed a new site anyway, so I think that's kind of like the end of that one. But it was looking like I needed to print a new one out, so get rid of some of the worst of it there. There we go. we can use it for the remainder of this video. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we've got a 750 Ti. That's not a bad thing to have if it's good. And then this motherboard comes with a lot of free fluff on it. Yeah. So let's get rid of that as well. Just give me one moment. Okay, so it's absolutely filthy, but this is our motherboard. Yeah, I've got rid of the worst of the dust, but still loads of it, and there's fluff everywhere. Yeah, so this again will need a good stripping down, but for now, that's the worst of it out of there. So we've got 8 gig RAM. We know what the graphics card is. 4th generation CPU of some sort. Could be anything from a Celeron to an i7. I have no idea. And a lot of dust. So what I think we'll do with this one is we'll take a known good power supply. Let's see if we can actually power this up. It's got onboard video, so let's try that first and see whether we can actually get any life out of this one. Oh, still removing huge amounts of fluff out of this thing. Yeah, let's have a look. Check a Cmos battery. Well, there's 3 volts in it, so it's just about enough. And that means that the draw off there must be a few microamps, because I mean, obviously it hasn't been, I'm not sure when this was last used, but it's not flat. So yes, I've got power on here. Got a switch, got a bleeper. Let's take the RAM out. Let's boot it up with that RAM, see if we get any bleeps out of it. That'd be a good sign. So power's on. Power is on, so the power with is okay, by the way. I'll just try the power supplies came with it. Let's see what it does. It spins. Oh, something smell a bit. I'm sure like something smelt a bit like it might have been a bit hot there. No, I don't feel like it. I mean, there's so much dust on this, God knows, you know. But it does spin. So I've looked to see if there's a CPU in it. I mean, I don't know. It could be nothing in here, yeah. What have we got? Oh, we do have a CPU. Oh, a CPU under there. So let's see what that is. A lot more dust. Let's give me 1 minute to get rid of this lot. Look, that's the worst of that lot off there. What is this thing? What have we actually got here? What's this sold us? Bit of focus. Oh, it's a core something. It's an i3, I think. A bit of focus on it, you'll be able to see it. i3 or i5. It's an i5 4440. That's not a bad little processor, to be quite honest. That's okay. So yeah, let's try this again. Put our heatsink and fan on. We'll see what it does. I'm just going to check on the V-core. Just get the meter where you can see it. I swore I could smell something getting hot, but I couldn't imagine this. And there's a lot of dust around. So yeah, this is your V-core. So this is the 12 volts coming in. So we'll go from 12 volts. That'll take you to the top of these MOSFETs. So that should read short. Yeah, that's where your 12 volts comes in. Yeah. So from there to ground, there's definitely not a short on 12 volts. Then the other side of this MOSFET, this will be your processor, and also here, yeah, top side of this. So like these two are connected together. This is connected to the coil, yeah. So if we just, I might even just by taking the pressure off enough, I'm not sure. Just take the CPU out. One moment, just pick it up. Try not to get all the dust into the socket. Come on, got you. Socket looks clean. So yeah, that's really quite high now. Yeah, so pull the dust out of it. The 20 ohms is the CPU. It seems quite reasonable to me. So we'll drop that in there. There's no shorts or anything there as such. I mean, I can power this up and we can just measure the V-core when it comes on actually, just to see what it is. I mean, it should be a volt or so for these processors, I'm guessing. Then we'll put my heatsink back on it. Let's get the thing where I can actually, yeah. So V-core is going to be on any of these basically phases, yeah, on the end of the MOSFET. So that's as good a place as anywhere. So power it up. We'll start it up again. We'll put some power on it. Moment. Figure out which power switch I actually switched off, which is the one over there, which is the one that usually freezes the camera. Power, okay. So let's start it up. Yeah. That 1.7. There is something smelling like. Oh, it's here. There's something going on with it. Did you see the smoke? There's something. Something hot round here. That's interesting because there's no shorts on it. Let's go to the resistance range again. Yeah, that's still being like 20 ohms. So there's something over here by the connector. I'll just review back to the video, but I'm sure that's where the smoke came from. Okay, so yeah, it obviously comes from here. We can see there's a problem. The resistance from the 12 volts to ground is actually about 170, 180 ohms, so it's not like a short or even very low resistance. Let's take the power supply off there. What's it reading now? Let's go to the pin itself. Yeah, it's quite high now, 35 kilo ohms. So it's actually reading the resistance from the power supply itself there. So what's actually causing this to smoke? And secondly, why have we got 1.7 volts on the processor when it should be on like about 1.1 or 1.2, I think. So this is where the connector actually connects. I can't see anything there. Interesting. Right, I think what we'll do with this, first of all, let's take this processor, let's stick it in our known good board, yeah? Let's find something less, worth less money than this one to try in here. And let's see if we can figure out what's actually going on, where the smoke's coming from. Yeah, I had a look, but unfortunately my test board of this kind of generation doesn't actually support this processor. It supports the i5-4440S, but not the 4440. I'm not sure I've got a motherboard here at the moment that actually supports this processor. So I may have to put this onto one side until I can actually find something to test it in. But what I can do, I can test the 8 gig strip of memory, and we can test the graphics card as well and see whether one of these is actually working. Yeah, okay, one moment. Okay, so I've got the test rig, and this is a single HyperX Blue strip at 8 gigabytes, and I'm in the BIOS with it, and it's I'm sure it's detecting it okay. It's housing system information. No, it doesn't actually tell us, but I'm sure that is working okay. If it boots to the BIOS, it's probably good RAM, yeah. So what we can do is we can put the 750 Ti in, and let's see whether it'll actually work, yeah. Let's see if the graphics card's any good. So, one moment. Or 2 moments. I've got the graphics card. I'm actually after that last little, not exactly a disaster, but let's just check this. I mean, obviously this thing that is supposedly working is not working actually. And I think it'd be foolish to plug this thing in without looking for some shorts on it first. Although, you know, obviously on that motherboard, I mean, there are no shorts, yeah. Well, let's have a quick look before we actually power this up and see at least if the main voltage input rails have any shorts on them or not. Okay, so 12 volts first. Let's just go to ground on here. Let's just have a look on the 12 volts. Okay, so there's no short there. That looks okay. 12 volts on the PCIe. That looks okay. With 3.3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's ground, sorry. Yeah, there's no shorts on the main voltage rails or primary rails. So we can give this a go, I think. And let's have a look to see if it actually runs. Otherwise, we'll have to take this apart and have a look at it, I guess, to see what's going on with it. Okay, so let's just find the what is it, a 6-way? Yep, 1 6-way connector for that. PCIe. Okay, we're in there. We're ready to go. Power's on. Let's power it up. Well, the PC power's up. The fan spins. It'll probably help if I plug the monitor into it though. Let's just go again, yeah. Let's just put the monitor on it. I mean, with a bit of luck, this PC has one fault, yeah. And we've already found it. Oh, blue light's on. It bleeped. And we have a picture. Yeah. We have a picture coming out of 750 Ti. So let's get a hard drive on this and let's see if we've got a good graphics card at the very least. One moment, I'll just pause the video and I'll get the hard drive. That's running okay then. So I've installed the drivers from the Gigabyte website. I've got it on here. I've just got Flea Market on there, which I'm going to run in a minute. I can just find the right mouse. I'll just run spec here as well so you can see what we have on this machine. So I only have the single channel memory because I'm testing the 8 gig DIMM that was actually with it. But you see there it's saying I've got 8 gig single channel DDR3. So it's seeing the memory works okay. Flea Market, we can just do a quick, I'm not sure which is the best resolution to run this at. Let's try 1020, 1080, go. Well, let's see that it runs. Yeah, so that's running only about 27 frames a second. I mean, this is not a super fast GPU particularly, not for this resolution. Temperatures look alright. Seems to be, I mean, obviously I have to do it a good while for stability, but bear in mind it's been running long enough while I installed the drivers, you know, downloaded them and installed them, and it is working. Okay, we might as well let's just test finish now. It's getting across there, and then we can have a quick look. I mean, temperature's staying nice and cool, like 47 degrees. Yeah, running at about 101% of full power, so it says. So I think we've got a good 750 Ti, 2 gig of DDR5 here, yeah? That's got to be worth the €50, probably more I would have thought, that the whole lot cost me. I mean, 8 gig of DDR3, I'm sure I'll find some use for it at some point or other. I'll probably find another one to match it at some point or other. There we go. So yeah, so that ran, it's worked, yeah, it's worked. So, last thing we might as well test with this then is the hard drive. Let's see if that 1 terabyte hard drive is any good. I mean, that'd be a little bit of a bonus if that is also working. I'll just restart the machine with the hard drive on. Okay, I've connected the original hard drive on here, the Seagate 1 terabyte, and it's actually booting into Windows 10. It's asking me for a password on it, so I don't think I can actually get into Windows. I'll have a look. Yeah, no, there's a password on Windows. So yeah, the hard drive works as well, so that's got to be a little bit of a bonus. So let's think what we're going to do with this motherboard. Okay, so that wasn't bad, to be quite honest. We have the 1 terabyte hard drive, which is almost certainly good. I mean, it loads Windows. I doubt it's faulty. We have 8 gigabyte of DDR3, which is not overly valuable as a singleton, but still, you know, that's not too bad a thing to have. And this graphics card, the 750 Ti, 2 gigabyte, which definitely got to be a nice thing to have. You know, I'm sure that covers more than covers what I paid for the whole thing. This motherboard. So the last time I had a problem like this, it was basically shutting on and off all the time, powering on and off, on off, on off. And there was a problem with it was an H80. It was an H81, almost the same as this board, but it was a gigabyte. And it had a voltage reference, a op-amp chip LM358, I think it was, which acts as a voltage reference, and it was not working properly. So on that one, the V-core was about 1.7, but that wasn't what was causing it to shut down. What causing it to shut down was the fact it had trashed the PCH. Even though the PCH didn't read short, it had knackered it basically. Yeah. But interestingly, on that one, the CPU, which was something very similar to this, actually survived the 1.7 volts. So it's a shame I haven't got another board here at the moment to test this in, but you can rest assured as soon as I have, I will let you know what the fate is of this CPU. But I think there's a good chance that's probably okay. With this, I think we'll, and again, the RAM has been in here when it's been faulty. Obviously, I take it out before I powered it up, but it's already faulty. The RAM survived. So we'll have a look at this. I think what's happening is, basically, there's no short that we can see. I mean, I can look for shorts on derived voltages, but I think more likely is there's just too much voltage, like it was going to the CPU. It's probably going to the PCH, and that's what was causing it effectively to draw too much power on the 12. I'm just guessing. And instead of shutting down in this instance, he's actually just supplied the power, and smoke was coming out from, looked like it was coming from the connector I can't see any anything around here that was burning up. So that'll make a video, yeah? So that brings us on then to the next computer I got at the weekend. So let's have a look at that one. This is the other one then. So, well, it says it's an i5, yeah, on the front of it, Intel i5, Core i5 inside. Manhattan Series 2GB. And this isn't a complete computer. I mean, there's no power supply in it to start off with, yeah. So this is like part of a computer, if you like. This one, well, let's zoom down and let's have a look to see what it is. Yeah, this one, it's GAH110M S2H. This is 6th generation Intel, and the guy wanted €50. I actually gave him 45 in the end after a lot of haggling, and I actually took this off to have a look to see what it was, and it is an i5 as it says on the front of it. So given the fact it's got a processor in, it's an i5 6400. I don't know what that processor is worth, but I thought at €50 I got a chance with this of actually making, no, sorry, at €45 I got a chance. The other thing this has got in it, by the way, is 8GB DDR4. So that has got some value, crucial. I mean, it's a singleton again, but it'd be nice if it was a pair. that would be rather nice. But still, I'm sure that's got some use, and I might find another one to match that. Yeah, it will go back in the slot. Okay, so I think with this, I mean, considering there's no power supply, there's no hard drive, it's just a motherboard and processor and RAM basically. So we need to take this out of the case, and we need to have a look to see what's what with it. Oh, it's got an optical drive in, but I mean, they're never worth anything really, unless the one I found which was a Blu-ray drive. That was quite nice. Okay, so this is the motherboard there on the desk. So yeah, let's see what this does. I mean, we know there's no shorts on it. We've got a good power supply, so let's just power it up and see what it does. Power's on. Okay. Well, the fan's spinning. No bleeps. It's like the fan spins, but nothing else is going on. Let's take out the RAM. So this is the 8GB of DDR4 that we have. Let's see if it'll bleep now. So I've got a speaker on there. Let's give it another go. No bleeps. No nothing. Okay, well this is a gigabyte board. So with this we can use the post analyzer in the PCIe. Apart from gigabyte, on other ones you have to use the LPC connector, low pin counts for this little thing or this little thing. But in this case, we can just stick this in. Let's see, it's back to front obviously, so you can't actually see it, which doesn't help. No, it isn't, it's the right way around. There we go. So we'll stick that in there. I'll get the camera. One moment. Okay. There you go. So we can see the analyzer card. Okay. So let's power this up and let's actually have a look, see what's actually doing. So power's on again. Little green lights come on. And we've got 0. So this is not even trying to boot. Okay. PCH isn't hot. We've got vehicle. The easiest way to tell, is to measure it, yeah. I mean, I was going to say we could also see if the CPU is getting hot, but we're a bit more technical than that, yeah. So let's have a look. So volts. Let's have a look at the vehicle. So I should be able to get this on the MOSFETs, which are down here. Oh, you can see it's on its side, but no, nothing. And it's stone cold, yeah. So there's no vehicle on this. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So I know we got there's no shorts on the 12. Well, obviously, it's powered up. There's resistance there, yeah, on the 12. So resistance on the vehicle. Oh. I'm assuming this is vehicle. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let me just zoom down a little bit. You can see. Okay, there you go. So I mean, basically, it appears like this is not powering up, basically. So you can see we've got the 4 phases of the vehicle, and each one's got 2 MOSFETs, high side and the low side by the looks of it. So we should have from 12 volts. Yeah, put it onto the yellow. So from, I'll go the other way, red to the 12 volts. So from 12 volts should be coming in. Oh yeah, just not going to on bleep, that's all, but yeah, it's there, 0, yeah. Then other end, bottom end of this will go to ground. So the junction between the two is vehicle. And it's reading like 1 ohm. Well, that should be probably the resistance to the CPU, but is that a bit low? And this is a 6th generation i5. I don't know. Take the CPU out. So yeah, so it's now reading like 99. That's ground. Is that the ground end? Yeah, and then this end's the 12 volt end. Okay. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, can you? It's behind the thing. Let me just do it again for you. So this is resistance from the 12 volts coming in. Yeah. Which is probably actually, I'm seeing the resistance of the from the power supply. I'm expecting that would be higher than that. Yeah, okay, so let's go again. So yeah, that's in the kilo ohms now, yeah. And then bottom end of here, this is the ground, and then the junction between the two, this is V core. So it's now reading 100 ohms. When I put the CPU in, I'll back in again. No. Level. Let me just get in the right way around, guys. It's early in the morning, yeah. There we go. CPU's in. So I'm now reading like 1. There you go. Now, considering that last CPU was reading 20, but I don't think the CPU is actually any good. It seems strange that this one would read 1. I mean, the other one was a 4th gen, and this is a 6th gen. Let me just get the heatsink compound off it, so I'm not so likely to get any inside the socket. I'll take this out. Yeah, so let's just clean all the gunk off this. Right, let's have a look. So, and that's got me interested now with the 20 ohms I read on the other one, to be quite honest. Let's try. This is an i3, so I'm expecting it not to read the same. The 6th generation i3. Yeah, you can just say i3 6100. Yeah, but that should be compatible with this board. I can check. Well, I'm interested to see what the resistance is of this CPU on the 6th gen. Okay, let's have a look. Is it somewhere down near to 1 ohm? Is it somewhere up near 20 ohms? Let's have a look. We can't be objective because I don't know what the good resistance should be. Oh no, it only reads about 4, and that's a good one. So the chances are that 1 ohm is good. Yeah, the chances are that 1 ohm is probably good. I suspect this CPU anyway is compatible with this board, so I'll have a quick check, and if it is, let's try it with this one. Let's see if it actually wants to boot up. Yes, both CPU are compatible with this board, and this is a known good CPU, so we can just try this. The fact, yeah, I mean, this is like a dual core processor in the i5. There's a quad, and this reading like 4 ohms, the other one reading 1. Doesn't seem unreasonable now to me. So I don't think it's a shortage there. GPU, which is what I was just wondering. So again, let's just move that so you can see the analyzer card. Let's see what this does now. Put the power in, switch it on. Yeah, it's on. Okay, let's have a go. Yeah, lights on. No, so it doesn't boot with that one either. Do we have any VCore now? I suspect we probably don't have any VCore. In fact, because we didn't have before, let me do it the easy way. No, it's stone cold. Okay. So, this motherboard's not powering up, basically. It's not powering up the voltage rails. So we can have a look at that. I think we might have a schematic for this with a bit of luck. And we can actually diagnose this one. Oops, slight interruption there. Customer brought me a laptop in to look at. But it won't be a video because it's a software issue. Yeah. Anyway, never mind. So yeah, so this is not switching the voltage rails on. So hopefully we've got a schematic and we might be able to have a look at this. It's certainly something we could look at on another video. But it's got me interested now with that other one that I had that has 20 ohms on the CPU, where on the 4th generation, is that actually about right? Yeah. So in other words, have we got probably another faulty motherboard or a problem with the CPU? So yeah, let's take that one off there. I've got it around. It's here. So this is the one that's had the i5, and this is the CPU. So let's put this in here. This is the i5 4440. Okay. Let's see what resistance this one gives us on the CPU as well. Yeah. Okay. So this is one that's got too much voltage. Yeah, it's 1.7 volts on the vehicle. This is one we'll definitely be looking at. So we're reading like 22 ohms or thereabouts on that CPU. Here we go. On the core, yeah, it's about 22. So I've got two actually. I've got this is a good one. This is an i3 again, an i3 4130. So we'd expect this to be higher than that one we were just looking at, if that one's good. Yeah, would you agree with that, guys? I think that's probably a reasonable assumption, you know. It's all about assumptions, this game. Yeah, hopefully they're the right ones. Oh yeah, you see, about 25, about 20. That probably is about correct, which makes me think that CPU probably has survived the high voltage. Here is, this is a dead CPU. We had this on a previous video. And this is an i5 4460, which we know is faulty. We've tried in a couple of boards, yeah. And the motherboard it came with actually worked. It was a CPU. Like, it's never the CPU apart from when it is the CPU. It was a CPU, yeah. What's this one? That's interesting. That is a short circuit CPU. You can see it. 0.6, yeah. So our dead CPU is actually short. Okay, well, I've learnt something a little bit there. I hope you guys have learnt something a little bit there. So yeah, that's a short circuit CPU. Okay. So now we know what to kind of look for on a 4th gen and a 6th gen. I think that's worth doing that on other CPUs as they come in. And I'll make a list. Yeah, I'll create a document just in Excel, so that for each model, when I get a good one, I'll measure the resistance, and it'll probably give us a good idea in future. Although obviously that was drastically wrong. It was short. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So it looks like we've got some interesting stuff to look at then, guys. So we have one motherboard that just doesn't start up, and it's got no VCore, so it's obviously not powering up. I say these are prone to PCH failure, but we can have a look at that, I think. And I'm thinking we might have some schematics. We have the other one, which has got 1.7 volts on VCore and something was smoking. I suspect it was just drawing a lot of power from the 12 volts. This has probably now got a trash PCH, but we can look. It seems likely, you know, it was only a quick test, but it seems likely I've probably got a good i5 6400, and I've probably got a good, what's this one, i5 4440. I know I've got 8 gig of DDR3 that's good. I've got 8 gig of DDR4, and I'm pretty confident that's good as well. So between these three, if they are good, even if I can't fix the motherboards, I'd say I've probably got more than my money's back, at least the money back on these two, yeah. Oh, and I've got a 1 terabyte hard drive as well, which is handy. Oh, I'm not even counting all that. I also got a GTX 750 Ti 2 gig, and that's working. So As it stands, actually, without the CPUs, I'd say, I mean, I've made the money back, and with these I've got a good profit, and if I can fix either one of the motherboards, I've got very good profit. So yeah, some exciting stuff to do there, guys. See you all soon in the next one. I really hope it doesn't take quite so long to make another video, and nothing else to say but ciao for now.